evening, everyone. We are going to call the board meeting together, regular board meeting for Thursday, March 21st, 2024. And we are going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. And who's presenting that?
Mr. Wiseman?
Mr. Wiseman, if you want to. I have our student. There we go.
Come over here if you want. It's really loud, so you just talk anywhere in there. Okay.
Started, okay? Ready? Started. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks.
Okay, awesome. I think, and then you can.
Okay. Next up is the adoption of the agenda.
Madam President, I move we adopt the agenda as presented.
Thank you, Mr. Alexander. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Russell. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No. All right, motion passes 5-0. And up next, we have our CG Spotlight. So Mr. Wiseman with Middle School Central.
All right, thank you. You're probably wondering why the principal's dressed like this. I just came from the staff versus student basketball game. I know, we're down 2, I heard at the end of the third. We probably could have used Mr. Robinson over there, get us some more points. So I'm going to call up some staff members that we'd like to recognize from Middle School Central. These staff members represent our building. They were presented to really me by the staff to represent our building at this meeting. So first I'd like to call up Chrissy Harmon. She's an 8th grade language arts teacher. She has over 37 years of service and 4 years at Middle School Central. Chrissy is an extreme, and by the way, I asked the team and teachers for some input to develop what I have to say here about each of our members here. Chrissy is extremely dedicated to the growth of our students. She provides support academically to help her students achieve their highest potential, and she also supports her students on a human level by creating a safe place for students to learn and grow. Chrissy is that person that you can always go to for ideas, whether it's about instruction or classroom management. She is the model of patience, grace, and perseverance. All right, thank you. Next, I have Holly White. And Holly serves as an instructional aide at our school. She has over 10 years of service and 3 of those at Middle School Central. Holly is considered dependable by both her colleagues and students. She shows up each and every day, ready to give her students her all with a smile on her face. She loves her students and provides caring environment for them to learn in while also maintaining high expectations for them. Holly's positive attitude and team-centered mindset make her a joy to work with. Her warm personality and mother-like way draws all in, students and staff alike. She is a blessing to the MSC community. She is always willing to do whatever is asked of her. She is compassionate and has a big heart while maintaining a stern balance when needed. She has been an excellent addition to the middle school staff since she has arrived. Thank you. And then last but not least, Advi. He said our pledge for us. He's a 7th grader at Middle School Central. Advi is a bright light at Middle School Central. When he walks down the hallway, both kids and staff are always eager to say hello. He is a leader in both the tap room as well as in the cafeteria, always willing to lend a hand to help with whatever is needed. He's kind and truly enjoys the school staff and his peers. He's a key leader during Trojan Cafe. He knows exactly what staff order and is able to flip over here, deliver their breakfast on time. His future goal is to work at Middle School Central. We love Advi. Good job, buddy. Also a shameless plug for our school play. Coming up after spring break, so the Friday, the 12th, and then the 13th on Saturday. So we'd like to see you there.
Get in there. Yep. Are you
the end of the game.
I don't think so.
Unless there's overtime.
Yeah, that's right. That's overtime.
Staff's up by 7.
All right, I think up next we have some wrestling and swimming folks here. Yep, thank you.
Mr. Bronco?
I'd like to first thank the board for allowing us to celebrate our winter athletes. For those of you who came to a lot of our events, all of our winter teams finished in the top 10 in the state. So that was a tremendous thing for all of our winter sports. We were also have the pleasure of celebrating 4 individual state champions today. And we'll start with wrestling. If Coach Swain could come up and introduce those 3, that'd be awesome.
So I'm going to recognize our 3 state champions. First, Charlie LaRocca. Charlie finished this season with a 37-5 record. He was the sectional, regional, semi-state champion, as well as the 120-pound state champion. Charlie's the second 2-time state champion here at Center Grove in our wrestling history, so that's pretty awesome. He'll also be wrestling next year for the United States Air Force Academy. Next, we have Wyatt Cresa. Wyatt finished this season with a 40-2 record. He was also the sectional, regional, semi-state champion, as well as the 150-pound state champion. Wyatt was also voted the Indiana Wrestler of the Year, and he will be wrestling in the Big Ten next year at Purdue University. Last, we have Nate Johnson. Nate finished with a 27-1 record. He, again, was also the sectional, regional, and semi-state champion, as well as the 285-pound state champion. Nate's really good at football as well, and he'll be playing football at St. Francis University.
And next, we'll have Coach Brad Smith come up and talk about our swimming state champion.
It's my privilege to represent Henry Linus tonight. He was the 2024 Indiana High School State Champion in the 100 backstroke. Unfortunately, Henry is not here tonight for me to introduce you to him. He's doing what he loves and competing at a national level swim meet. I can't say enough great things about Henry. He's an extremely hard worker, a fierce competitor, but most importantly, an outstanding teammate, constantly pushing his team to be the best, not only in the pool, but out of the pool. Henry is now the school record holder in the 100 back. He was named Johnson County Swimmer of the Year. He placed 6th in the 100 butterfly at the state meet. He led off our 9th place medley relay, anchored our 7th place 400 free relay, and of course the state champion in the 100 back. Henry is just a sophomore, so I hope I do get that opportunity to introduce him in the future with a couple more state championships. So thank you.
got for the hearing. We'll go ahead and do that. I'll introduce her.
Okay. All right, up next, we have our teaching and learning report. Dr. Long?
Sure. Tonight we have with us Amanda Trimble, our Special Programs Coordinator, and she's going to give this month's teaching and learning report. So, Amanda, thanks.
Thank you guys for having me here so I can talk about our English learners tonight. Before we get started, I want to share with you that this is a quick, brief 6 slides. I will be talking about some data, just a little bit of background, and some of the supports that we offer for our English learners. The first slide I have up, this is our a graph of or a chart of our languages that are spoken here in Center Grove. What I'd like you to notice is that in 2017-18, we had about 40 languages represented and 320 students who spoke another language in their home. If you fast forward to 2023-24, you'll notice that that number went up to 51 languages represented in our schools now, and over 1,000 students who speak a different language at home. Of those 1,000 students that we have, currently 532 of them are learning English as a new language. That's a huge growth since 2016. You'll notice that we had 95 students who were learning English as a new language. In fact, that's a 460% increase in 6 years. I mentioned earlier that we currently have 51 of those languages spoken here. This is the top 30 and the number of students that speak those languages. It won't surprise you that Spanish is number 2 on our list with 170 students. The third language is Chin, and I wanted to kind of point that out to you because Chin has 5 different dialects, which is why I've highlighted those in blue. So we actually have 3 of those dialects here in Center Grove. If you add up all of those, it actually equals 195 students. I just wanted to share this with you because it kind of gives you an idea of the region where our students are coming from. It's very broad. And you'll notice over in the right-hand corner, and my mouse isn't, I thought the mouse would show it, but that's where the 195, you'll see the Chin and the Chin dialect over there. So you may be wondering, how do we support our students who are learning English as a new language? All of these students take a test of language acquisition. It gives them a number of 1 to 6. Those students who score in levels 1 through 4 are put in our E&L program, and they can be pulled out into small groups and given instruction, or we can also push in. It really just depends on the school, how many students that we have and we serve, and how many teachers or assistants we have. Those students who score 5 or 6 are actually considered fluent, but they are progress monitored, and they have to score 5 or 6 for 2 consecutive years in order to be exited out of the program. Over to the right-hand side, you'll see that Center Grove has programs in 5 different buildings, 3 in the elementary, 1 at Middle School Central. We also have a program at Center Grove High School. We have 7 teachers who are licensed to teach these students. One of the things, because I'm almost done here, I have one more slide for you. But one of the things that, and you notice that we've grown so fast over 6 years, we wanted to do a program review, and so we did this year. We brought in an E&L specialist. She did some observations in classrooms. She interviewed administrators, teachers, and a few students at the high school. That report is not in yet. It should be coming late this spring to show us our strengths and areas that we can grow. But I did reach out to her earlier this week to ask her if she could just give us some highlights so that I could share with you guys since I was coming here. And so this next slide is really the things that she shared with me. So the strengths that she offered to me was that when she walked into the classroom, she did notice that our E&L students are integrated into our gen ed population. That's what the first bullet really is about. She also noticed the students were working with native speaking students. and that it appeared very natural for them, and she said that it was a great thing for those students. She also thought that we had great culture in our building. It was very warm and inviting. The one opportunity that she provided for me is that we have really strong teachers who teach E&L, but some of them are doing different teaching practices, and what I'd like to do next year is to integrate some of those practices and make it common among those classrooms. Okay, so I've just thrown out a lot of information for you in 6 slides. Do you guys have any questions for me?
So it's not in every one of our buildings.
It is not.
So students who don't live in those districts, in those buildings, are they picked up by us?
We shuttle them to the building that we have an E&L program.
Yeah, they go to their home school, and then we shuttle them to one of the programs.
Dr. Long, I assume once the report's available, you'll attach that to Friday back or share it with the board.
Yeah, sure.
Good summary. Thank you.
Thank you
Okay.
very much.
All right, thanks.
Eye-opening
Thank
to
you.
see the number of, how mu, I don't say it's double, but the big increase from last school year to this school year.
I don't,
Big jump.
right, I don't think the numbers are gonna go down.
No.
I feel like they're gonna keep going up, so,
Would agree with that.
Thanks.
okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, item 6.1 is public comments, and we do not have any tonight. Next agenda item would be our consent items. Does anybody have any discussion or questions on any of the consent agenda items? Gary, no? Okay. Do I-
Madam President, I move that we approve the consent items as presented.
Thank you, Mr. Daniels. Do I have a second?
Second.
I'm sorry, who was that? Gary, okay. Thank you, Mr. Robinson. All of those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion passes 5-0. Up next, we have action items. 8.1 would be the additional appropriation hearing and resolutions for the guaranteed energy savings contract. And Dr. Taylor, do you have anything to present first?
No, actually, we need to open it as a hearing.
Okay.
Then I'll jump in. Thank you.
All right. Oh, I'm so sorry, Bill. I'm having iPad issues up here today, so Dr. Long is,
You need my laptop?
thank you.
There you go.
There it is.
Thank you. Okay. This evening's board meetings has been appropriately advertised as a hearing on additional appropriations. I now open this public hearing. I would like to call on Dr. Taylor to provide information about the additional appropriations.
Thank you, Mrs. Counts. This is going to be a very brief presentation because we've talked about this topic, I think, at our last 4 board meetings, it feels like. So this is for our guaranteed energy savings contract. This is for $17 million towards that project. It was a 1028 hearing that was held back in December for this. Tonight, we're asking the board to approve the issuance of bonds for that project and the interest earning matters related to it. To also amend make a resolution confirming the 4th Amendment to the lease and approving the issuance of those bonds. And then finally, we are going to ask you to approve the appropriations so that we may actually spend the proceeds from those bonds on the project. Dr. Long is going to share some of the details about that project in the next agenda item, but that's all we need to make the money part of this project work. And I will turn that back over to you, Mrs. Counts, for public comment.
Okay. This is the appropriate time for members of the public to comment on the additional appropriations or information presented this evening. Are members of the public present who would like to comment? No? Okay. I now close this public hearing. Are there any board members who have any comments or questions? I know we've talked a lot about this. Is there more?
No, that's it.
Okay.
Okay, we need a recommendation and approval.
Okay,
Don't, right?
we do. Okay. No questions. Do I?
You need to close the hearing.
I thought I did.
You did, she did.
I did.
Yeah,
I asked
Okay.
for comments afterwards.
Sorry.
We need a motion, correct?
we do, right?
Okay.
Madam President, I move that we approve the resolution confirming the lease, approving the issuance of bonds and resolution, and approving the additional appropriation.
Thank you, Mr. Alexander. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, all of those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion passes 5-0. Up next is, isn't that what we just did?
Yeah, we're
8.2?
doing, no, we're doing 8.2,
Oh,
now
I'm
the
sorry.
contract,
I'm
right?
sorry. Yes, we're going to approve the Guaranteed Energy Savings Contract with CMTA.
Thank you, Ms. Thank you, Mrs. Counts.
iPad issue.
Just as you remember, back in October, we selected CMTA as our provider for our guaranteed energy savings projects. So tonight, we're asking the board to approve the contract in the amount of $3,311,875. With that contract is a first-year guarantee of $403,564 in utility savings. This contract includes the projects, the new solar at Center Grove High School and at Center Grove Elementary School, control upgrades at Center Grove Middle School North, district-wide controls retro commissioning and optimization, and the Walnut Grove Solar recommissioning project. And we recommend the board approve the contract with CMTA.
Okay. Anybody have any discussion? Questions? Okay. All right. Do I have a motion?
Madam
Oh.
President, I move that we approve the Guaranteed Energy Savings Contract with CMTA.
Thank you, Mr. Russell. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Robinson. All of those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Any opposed? Okay, motion passes 5-0.
Thank you.
Up next, we have some announcements. So April 13th, 2024 is the Gala for the Grove at the Indiana Roof Ballroom. So make sure you get your tickets because we'll all be there. April 18th, 2024 is our next executive session and regular board meeting. Mr. Russell, do you have anything for tonight?
Not right now, no.
Okay. Scott?
Not this evening.
Nothing this evening.
I don't have anything either.
Yeah. I just want to mention, I taught at Center Grove Central 37 years, and Holly White and Christy Harmon are very, very excellent educators, and it's neat when we bring all the buildings up. I know Center Grove North will be next time, but Center Grove Central is really a neat place, and that young man, I've seen those kids, and that's a good young man, because and everything. So it's a pleasure to have Central in. Fantastic wrestling program. State swimmer being a sophomore is pretty cool. And good things are happening at Center Grove, so thank you.
I think you should have been up there in that picture, by the way, not me. They didn't need to see
Hey,
my
Jack
mug.
took my Central thing, so you know.
Oh, you did? I didn't even think about that.
And
Okay.
that has to be the first time we've ever been top 10 in the state in all.
Yes,
winter
fantastic.
sports.
Good
That's-
point.
that's
Excellent point.
fabulous. Top 10 in all winter sports. That's
Right.
fabulous.
All right.
Mrs. Counts, can I say something
I'm so
before you
sorry,
just?
yes.
No, I just wanted to tell you, this week, we finished our annual bus inspections. We had one bus that didn't pass the very first time through. We were able to make a correction, a switch had failed, fix that. So we were at 99% on the first time through. So very proud of everybody in the transportation department. That's a tough process to go through, and they go through that with a fine-tooth comb, and they worked hard to prepare for that.
And
Please
that's a
think-
true 99% because we have 99 buses, right?
Just about, yes. Please thank the transportation department. That's great work.